Everyone. So we're talking about design principles, and in our previous tutorial we talked about alignment and how important it is to actually involve these principles in our design. Now, today we'll be talking about um, contrast. We'll be talking about movement, and we'll be talking about color and repetition in design. So let's get started. So I would first open a file, um, create a new file. Then I always like using my pixels 3000 by 3000 pixels and my resolution 300. So let's just rename this. So we are doing a DMI um, tutorial today. I'll just name it DMI tutorial. Okay. So color with RGB 8-bit colors. We usually always use 8-bit by default because unless you really have serious color control that you really want to do and your system is really powerful, always do it at 8-bit and leave everything at default. And yeah, oh yeah, tutorial. And then you can take the adwords on and let's create. Okay, so we have a blank adboard, and so what I want to suggest today, we'll do a design from scratch and we'll see how the principles actually apply. So we'll just start from there. So let's we'll import an image. So normally I think we would just start with our backgrounds, and then we'll start adding our overlays on them one after the other. So let's go with that. So we'll use a rectangle for this. I want to just create something. So let me do this. Take the ruler, divide this, get to the center, drag it till it gets to the middle there. Then now we can use the rectangle to just make this so it's even. Then I'll put one, and then we'll just Ctrl J this, that's to duplicate it, and then hold shift and drag and place the other. So I'll just double click on this and add the color for this, and then we'll add another one. Let me reduce this one a bit, like so, something like that. That's what we're going for. And this is for our two shapes, so click on them and create a new background. I will name this background shapes, something like that. Okay, now the next thing we'll do is we'll type the word vow and type VOW, and we'll say okay to this. Now we are talking about we talked about alignment, and we in our previous tutorial we talked about how that we have the left alignment, the center alignment, and then the right alignment. Now each of them they all act differently. So let's say we have something like this vowed, then we have let's add something else, vowing. I think that's okay. Let's move this, place it separately. Now we'll just place this. Okay, so if I click on vowing and then hold shift and click on vow, now if I click on the left alignment, you see everything else goes to the left. If I click on the center, it goes to the center, and then the right. So this is just basically how easy it is to actually align. But as easy as it is, if we don't use it correctly, we can actually get our designs looking really awkward and not correct at all. So I'll just close this to this and this. So it's how we actually want. So now we're talking about contrast. Now generally when we look at contrast, now we're talking about two things, black and white. Photoshop in itself has this at this bottom here, you see this toggle between black and white. This is the best distinction of how to know the difference when you talk about contrast, because when you say something is white, now every so anything that has to show on the white has to be something dark. And when you have something that is dark, everything that has to show on it has to be something light. So for darker backgrounds, you use a light text. Then for lighter backgrounds, you use a dark text. That's just the basic principle of contrast. So when we have this kind of two backgrounds, now we have orange and we also have yellow. So at this middle, at this center, where we actually see the orange, and then that's the distinction. We now have a contrast between this and this, between the orange and the yellow. So we now know that these two things, they actually dark colors. So whatsoever we're putting on it has to be something light, it has to be something white, and if you actually really feel that particular color on it. Now for text also, we could have, let me put on these vowels that we actually have it. Now we have vowel, we have vowel, and we have vowel. And we know that in typeface, I think we have a tutorial, I have a tutorial on typeface and all of that. Now you see that you can actually have a font, and now in that font family, now you actually have a thin one, a light one, book, regular, and bold. In themselves, these all create contrast between everything. So let's say if we do something like, let's put this two off and this two off, and then let's select this vowel, then I hold alt and drag it up, duplicate that, then I hold it again and duplicate it and place it on there. Now we can just select this. This is a regular font, so we'll make this one look thin, then that's now thin, and then also make the topmost one thin also. Now we'll say okay. Now we can select these three, and then we can group it. Now place it. Now what we just did was create contrast. The focus on these three things now is on the center vowel, which is this center one right here. That's because it's now very obvious. Okay, now once you just look at it, you know that okay, this is vowel. That's where your focus is. This kind of contrast you actually can create with text. So it also makes something more pronounced in text. So you can have a theme, you can have a sub theme, and then your theme can be this, and then this other ones now can be your sub themes. So that's how you actually create contrast using text. So this is the kind of thing we are going to do today. So I'll just put this off, then put it on back, and then take the actual vowel we need, take it up, put this back, let's just to place them in that group, and voila, take it off. Okay, so we'll click on our vowel here, hold shift, and we'll just drag it up. Now let's centralize this. I think we're going to make this not too big. Let's make it book, like so. Okay, so that's for vowel. And now we also talked about repetition, and let me quickly also state that, let me go back. Now if you look at this this thing we did here, what repetition does is that you can actually create an effect using this same system of contrast. Now but for this other to we actually reduce the we change the font family type to thin now, and you just reduced it like that. Now repeating this thing and then reducing the opacities for each of them actually creates an effect, and at the same time our contrast is still on the vowel at the center here. So it's also a good principle, a good trick to actually use to make design. So let's just, okay, our history is already there, so I think we'll just undo all of this, and let me take back my vowel, which is this one, drag it back up, close this two, select these two again, put them in that group, and then close it. So select this guy, and voila, taken to the center. Okay. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is we'll place an image. Let's also place an image. This is the image we want to place. Is a precious kings image. Okay, so just place this. I want it to be somewhere there. Then I'll say okay, and then I want to lock it so I don't actually mess it up. And I'll drag this one down just a little bit. Something like so. We reduce we change the font interface to book. I like the book for this one. Okay, and select something. Okay, so we're talking about the contrast, repetition, movement, and color. So now we've talked about the first one. We've talked about the color. Then I also stated how you can actually use the repetition of those texts, and then how we can actually enhance the way we actually move around our design. Now for the movement, I should state something. Now when doing design, we can actually choose the direction in which we can actually create our design from. So let's say for a design, I can decide to start at point A, and then everything moves towards B. What that means is that I can decide to put my vowel here. This is my theme actually for this design, and then I can now put this precious kings, which is the image. I can drag it and place her, let's say, somewhere here. So we are filling that point, and now this vowel comes to this front. And now we can take we can take the vowel here and toss every other text. Let me lock this. So every other text that would probably want to have, it comes under this text box, and we can also have some of this text box. So now this is a to B horizontal design pattern. Or you could also decide that okay, so we want to take this from top to bottom, which is what we are trying to do now. So this is a vowel starts at the top. This is for vertical design movement, and then goes down, which so yeah, when you're actually doing the design movement in this is very important, because you can't really, and in most cases it actually depends on the kind of content you have, for the designs you actually want to do. If you have let's say more the client can actually give you a lot of text, and you probably need more space to write things, and you have an image like this, you can easily just look at your data set you have and quickly know if you should really be going with a square size, that's an insta size 300 by 300 pixels, 200 by 200 pixels, or maybe you do something like an A5 design, a 5.8 by 8.3, or if you want to do a 3000 by 8000 pixels design, which is probably just you dragging dragging your artboard, then dragging it down, and creating more space for yourself and all of that. So these are kind of movements we have, and it's not just that, for as long as we have let's say a circle, and this circle has a this is the center of the circle. Now let's say this is it. So let's say it's a X. For as long as you have, let's say we have a line, let's create a line. Let's just use a rectangle so we illustrate. So for as long as we have, let's say this line, like a line, yes, it looks like a line, so let's increase the stroke of this. Then reflect this back, if the stroke is there, Where's our young guy? Is it that small? Oh, he's out of the adword. Okay, so let's look for him. Young man, where are you? Let's drag that. I think that guy was very too small, so we couldn't see him. Okay, so here he is now. So for as long as we have, let's say, something like this, and this is the rotate view tool, and now so for long as we have this circle and this shape, this line in itself can rotate this axis. That's just, it's the same way we can actually have A, and then we can also have B, not that B over here, B. You can make these guys be together. So for as long as we have this, oh yeah, we ruined that somehow. So let me just convert this to a shape, then hold the rotate tool. Oh, I think what we could do is to just convert this back, and we can actually have, let me take this back again. That's good. Now this is our shape. So from each of these quadrants, once we rotate this shape, there's the shape, that's the shape. Once you rotate this shape, once you're able to rotate this shape, you can see that for as long as it's rotating, this streaks along its axis. Let's get our center point. As long as it's rotating along this axis, we didn't really put the anchor point at the right spot though, but yeah, we get the point. As long as it's rotating along this 360 axis, your movement can actually also change. So it can be horizontal, diagonal, this looks like a 270 degree, a 90 degree, and so on and so forth. So movement is always important, but it's always best, I would always recommend you always try to always go for either the 90, like the vertical, or the horizontal. It's in very few cases you always before we use the very complicated, when you're actually trying to get some certain kinds of effects done, but you should always use the horizontal and vertical. It works best, and it's it works best for most designs we would find. So let's put this off. I'll just delete that, and then also delete these guys, so that's for our movement. And yeah, another thing I would mention is our colors. Now when we are working with the colors, I'm just trying to hit this up. We'll still go into it. Now when we are working with the colors, we should always look for colors that actually complement one another. It's like looking for in newer versions of Photoshop. We actually have, let me give you a hint. You have gradients. Okay, mind you, these are ones I created them. You have a set of gradients, so you can come to this right now, and then you find out that you have gradients. That is, it's a good way to actually check for colors if you're really finding it very difficult to know colors actually complement one another. So you can actually just check for ingredients, and then you actually know the kind of colors you can actually use. If you don't really know the primary colors that are actually best blend together, so the kind of colors you use in itself have to be complement one another. So okay, so let's head back. So vowel. So this is our vowel, I will just drag this a bit. Okay, so let's just go in and come down a bit. A little masking we just did. And now we'll just add background overlays. Let's go to change it to a little bit of browser. So we'll just place this behind this, and then we'll use soft light. Then we'll also use this mic. I like the mic. Let's rotate it and place it somewhere. So I'll also use the soft light. Reduce that opacity just a bit. Now it works quite okay because we are we're working with just that particular one. So this one is, we clipped this other background to each of the shapes so that they actually don't go beyond their bounds. Okay, then let's place our socials, the documents, and so these are logo for GMI, the multimedia. And I'll place that and place it social. In most cases, it's always nice to just have your socials, especially when you work with them a lot. So now I'm just going to add a gradient to this. Then I'll go to the gradients. I already have this gradient set up. So if you like, these are my stops for this. I just created it and saved it down here. So I'll save this, and now we'll click on both of them and give it a left alignment so everything stays together. And we'll keep that one there. And this is going to be a live stream, so we're going to add live streaming shape. Also remove the stroke. Make this red, more or less a gradient. Let's make it a gradient, a red gradient. So we could just use a basic red. Yeah. Just blend this. Now let's just reset your alignment to actually see the gradient properly. And let's go to our properties for the shape. Okay, our properties, window, shape properties, and let's add a curvature to it. And then we'll just add a text live stream. Let's reset this. Use our live stream. And let's just reduce, font. Okay, and oh yeah, the date, we'll start it off here. So that side, I think that's big enough. So I'm going to fill this with the color from the logo, then we'll hide the stroke. And got our shapes. We'll add, and I think we're going to unlink it and then just make the edges. No, I don't have that. Just have make that and give it a different size. So I think this is okay. I need this color to be a bit dark. Yeah, that's better. I want to duplicate this and rotate this just to add an effect beneath. Okay, and here's our live stream. We'll just copy this gradient and place on this, so we now have that, and it would, okay, this is good to go. So let's add the date, and mind you, adding the date now would use the we'll use text, and the text we're going to use different font interface for each of them, so we actually create contrast between the actual dates, the month and the year. So we'll do that. We'll say Feb, and it should be February. Okay, so let's reduce the tracking on this to 0. So we'll do I'll drop it to 0. Okay. Let's duplicate this, hold shift, alt and alt, then just drag the hold shift to maintain aspect ratio. So the date is 6/06. Just drag that a bit bigger. And this is 2022. 2022. So just drag this and hold shift, maintain aspect ratio. Exactly, so select 2022, the date and February, and then we'll give it a center alignment. We'll group that, then hold this is the date, we call it shape holder or something. So hold the actual date, and then hold the date shape holder here. So align that vertically and horizontally, so it's at the center. Reduce the size a bit. Okay, that's okay. And now let's come and add our contrast. So go to text, and then from regular we'll make this, let's say, light. Yeah, take light is okay. Then go to 2022, also make that light. Yeah, so we now have that there. So you can also select this and add that it's on a Sunday. So it's Sunday, and we'll just rotate this. Select this, reduce the size, then add our kenning. Now the tracking rather is the horizontal distance between the text, so we'll just add it and then reduce the size, so we're able to place it at that edge there. We'll just track it and fill up below that line. Okay, so we'll add this. So since we've added this something, I would have to hold it and hold the shape, the date shape holder, and then align it vertically and horizontally. So it's now at the center. So we'll group these two together and say date again. So okay, that's that for I'm saying something is around, it's coming out of it, so we'll just take it in. Okay, now let's have a drop shadow, and this just to create a bit. Increase the spread, a bit, opacity, reduce the spread, reduce the distance, let me drag up. That's our drop shadow. We'll close this and we'll close this. This for our live stream.